Welcome to the X Block.
Am I right, berate? Sir, yes, sir! Then listen up.
You're listening to the X Block. I'm Jared. He's Caleb. Let's get into it.
You are listening to the X Block Podcast, episode 30. I'm Jaren, and I'm here with Caleb.
Heyo.
And this is the world's #1 Xbox podcast.
Probably here with the Smoker Man this week. Did you want to try that? Well, I guess they're not going to hear the first intro you tried. Jesus Christ, dude. Jaren's like mucus-filled fucking mouth was going in your ear holes, like, and it was like, Jesus, dude, redo that. Down with the sickness part 2, Jaren.
Down with the sickness part 2? Ooh, If you've never heard this podcast before, I guess welcome to that.
Sometimes we talk about Xbox.
Not this week, though.
This is a dry week for news. Dry as Jaren's fucking throat, man. It's not happening.
Dude, my throat's not dry at all. It's got too much in it.
Well, yeah, but it sounds like it's dry. It sounds like, like, you know?
What have you been playing?
Oh, dude, what have I been playing, Jaren? Did we talk about how we finished Zombie Army 4 last week? Or when was that?
I think that was last week.
Whatever. We finished Zombie Army 4. Okay, then I'm going to tell you guys, did we already mention on this podcast that, I guess we mentioned that we finished Outriders, right?
Oh, yeah, we did. We definitely did that.
Yeah. Okay, so Jaren got all the achievements in Outriders, and now I have all the achievements in Outriders. And so our fucking journey that we started like a month after we started this podcast, co-op gamers extraordinaire over here, Jaren and Caleb, done finally with one game.
He's always copying me.
How am I copying you? Oh, because I finished it after you? Shut the fuck up, you're a bitch. Minecraft Dungeons, though, we started that again, and boy, did they add a lot of achievements, Jaren.
Well, started's a strong word.
What do you mean? Well, I guess we played like one mission, right? And then we died at like 45 minutes in. We ran out of lives. We forgot how to play, so we like wasted all our lives in the beginning like a bunch of idiots. But we're also playing on, what, Apocalypse plus 5 or something? Or Apocalypse 1? I don't know. So yeah, Minecraft Dungeons, that game's still fun, but we got to get back into it. And it's like each mission, the problem is each mission takes like 40 minutes to get through, or maybe like an hour. And so you really got to decide that you're going to sit there with no interruptions for the next hour to be able to do it. And so at some point in the far-flung future, we'll finish that. And we're basically playing that as we lead up to on one of our favorite series, the Dark Pictures Anthology, published by Bandai Namco. For those of you who are unaware, House of Ashes, with Ashley Tisdale, right? That's coming out October 30th, I think.
Does it have Ashley Tisdale in it?
That blonde chick looks like Ashley Tisdale, doesn't she?
I guess.
I'm going to confirm it right here. Ashley Tisdale in House of Ashes. So we're going to be playing that, for a spooky game toward when that comes out. We're stopping Minecraft Dungeons immediately to play that. And then other than that, I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, obviously, and some Rainbow Six Siege with the boys a bit. You played with us last night. You placed a claymore in front of a doorway and then ran past the claymore, and some guy was like, "Oh, there he goes, I got him." And then he ran him through the doorway, and the claymore blew his ass up. That was hilarious.
Yeah, baited.
Yeah, you got baited super hard, fucking idiot, whoever you are, shout out. And then Sea of Thieves, played some of that, dude, finished, got all the Pirate's Life, I think I mentioned, I got all the Pirate's Life kind of like story achievements, and we've been fishing up in that bitch. Jaren, Gears 5, you know how they launched Operation 8? Okay, so they have achievements for each operation, right, Jaren?
Mm-hmm.
But then with Operation 5, that was the last one. Then they stopped, and Operation 6 and 7 came out, and they didn't add achievements. Then Operation 8 came out, which I think is the last one for Gears 5, and they added achievements again. And I was like, great, okay, cool. So I went back and just grinded some of the easy multiplayer stuff and like the Horde things. And Gears 5, still a good game. Got a lot of content and a lot of microtransaction kind of heavy shit, but it's still really fun and really solid, really smooth, and looks great on a Series X and a good TV. And then I think lastly, I played a little bit of the Elder Scrolls Online yesterday. Still just fucking rolling my way through that shit, Jaren. And that's everything I've been playing.
Jesus, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's like 10 games or something. I don't know. It's a lot, but for me, it feels like not a lot because I've been playing games less than I usually used to play games like 2 months ago and before, right?
Yeah.
I'm playing less, but it's like I play more games because it's like co-op and multiplayer and some single player stuff and some quick DLC achievements and then another game, and yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's like more variety but less consistent time.
Exactly. You nailed it. Yeah, you understand. What about you? Did you finish did you finish Yakuza last week?
No, I finished it before. I finished it this week.
Okay, this week. Just making sure. Okay, so you finished Yakuza. How was that?
Oh, it's great. I love it.
Yeah. And is Yakuza 0?
Yeah, Yakuza 0. Now I'm on to Yakuza Kiwami 1, which is a remake of Yakuza 1.
Damn, okay. So you really just going to roll through all the Yakuza games back to back, or are you going to space them out a bit?
I haven't started it yet. That's just what I'm like on to for the next one when I decide to play. I'm playing like games in between, so I don't hate the series when I get to like the third one.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, if you're playing all of them back to back, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm not playing all the Elder Scrolls online content back to back. That's why I'm playing it again now after 3 years. But I was gonna say, did you hear? It's not in the news, but the Yakuza. It was just announced today as we're recording this. The Yakuza longtime, I think, series like director and producer left.
Yeah, he's been at Sega since 1989, I believe.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. And he's like, the studio's still going to be making shit, and I think they're going to be making Yakuza, but they're going to be turn-based moving forward again, I guess all of them. I don't know if Like a Dragon was or not.
Yeah, Like a Dragon is supposedly. I haven't played it, but I've heard it's more turn-based than the others.
Which you like those kind of games, right?
I do. I don't think it's that kind of turn-based. I think it's like a middle ground between that.
Okay, well, there you go. So anyway, yeah, you playing Yakuza. Looking forward to that shit. What other games, though, since you're not playing Kiwami immediately?
I booted up that Kenna Bridge of Spirits game.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it wasn't my thing, so I won't be playing that.
I don't want to be a hater, but I'm just going to say, I've heard, that it's like, it has the charm of a PS2 game. So if you're into that, then it's great. But if not, you're like, why does this game handle like this? But it looks pretty. The trailer looks great. I showed my girlfriend that, and she was like, that looks cool.
Oh, yeah, it's really pretty, especially on the OLED. But yeah, it's not my thing, so I won't be carrying on with it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know what I'll play next. I'm between Psychonauts 2 and what was the other one? It was something. I don't remember. Maybe The Evil Within.
Okay. Oh, dude, yeah. You should play The Evil Within for Spooky October, Jaren. You should play it.
I was thinking about it.
I like it. It's a great, and then you still got the second one to look forward to. And it's one of the few, I don't know, I'm not really a Japanese games gamer, but that's one of the few Japanese kind of style games I like, because they just made what felt like a Resident Evil 4 game, but like the first one since Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then you and I played the Battlefield 2042 beta, included with the Game Pass Ultimate subscription. What'd you think about that?
Oh, I did not like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it either, man. It's really interesting. And it kind of looks good in some ways, and then looks bad in some ways graphically. And it's just a lot going on. For those of you who don't know, Jaren and I unironically think that the Battlefield 1 beta is perhaps the best shooter of the last decade. Honest to God, like one of top 3 at least. And then they kind of, with all the fixes and things they made when the main game came out, it was less good. But Battlefield 1 was still really great and really playable and a really fun, balanced shooter in a lot of ways. And then, they had Battlefield 5, and that sucked. And Battlefield 2042 is kind of like a Battlefield 4, spiritual successor. And it's just a lot fucking happening. And it's really complicated. Not too complicated to where I don't understand it. It's just, we were like all playing, you, me, Juwan, and Austin, we were talking about it. And it's like, the air superiority in this type of game ruins the moment-to-moment gameplay. Because what we were deciding was like, okay, yeah, there weren't a lot of like air shit happening in Battlefield Bad Company 2's multiplayer and Battlefield 1's multiplayer, which I think were the best. It was like dogfights, and then you had some bombers in Battlefield 1's, but that wasn't really that detrimental to anything. But in Battlefield 2042, dude, there are constant helicopters flying all around the map, missile strafing everything, and you die immediately, and it ruins the experience, man.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm just like not a fan of it. I don't really like the gunplay.
Yeah, I don't either. It takes too long to kill people, in my opinion.
The spawn system doesn't seem to work for the map. Like, you're always spawning. Even when you spawn on a flag, you still get shot immediately. And it's just not my cup of tea.
In a year with Halo Infinite coming out free, and Battlefield 2042 only multiplayer, which if it had a campaign, I would buy it after it went on sale. But it's just a multiplayer, and it's, $60. I'm like, no thanks. I respect it. It's for somebody. It's for people who aren't me, I guess. Like, some people probably would have a really great time with it, but I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I feel like it's entirely for the PC community.
I feel like they're going to dominate that game, yeah. And you better turn crossplay off when the game comes out.
Well, I guess we should hop into Outside the Box, Caleb.
Oh, dude, we got one story today. Hit me with it.
I'm thinking outside the box,
where we cover all the news you need to know outside the Xbox community. The first story in Outside the Box, we're going to be talking about the Twitch leak. That Big Daddy Twitch leak that happened where basically the entirety of Twitch has been leaked.
It's crazy, man. It's a 125 gigabyte torrent link that was posted in 4chan. the Wednesday. So if you're hearing this on Monday, the Wednesday of the previous week. And VGC, I think, was the first to report and write about it. And the headline is, the entirety of Twitch has reportedly been leaked. Source codes and user payouts among the data released in the torrent. An anonymous hacker claims to have leaked the entirety of Twitch, including its source code and all that, and nonsense. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and essentially the main things that were leaked are listed down below in the VGC article, which is the entirety of Twitch's source code with commit history, going back to its early beginnings, creator payout reports from 2019, mobile, desktop, and console Twitch clients, proprietary SDKs and internal Amazon services used by Twitch, every other property that Twitch owns, including IGDB and Curse Forge, an unreleased Steam competitor codenamed Vapor from Amazon Game Studios, and Twitch internal red teaming tools designed to improve security by having staff pretend to be hackers.
Yeah, a lot of companies, like I have a friend who's done that for government systems where they're really good at coding, and so their job is to try to hack into the system as a hacker for security purposes so that they can see any vulnerabilities.
Well, I found
that
him.
all got leaked. Yeah, you found him, Jared. And so, yeah, it was a huge fucking leak, man. And I think if you scroll down toward the bottom of the VGC article, besides showing that, the payouts, people are somewhat mad about the payouts, like Critical Role, I think, since August to October of this year, have made like $9 million. And I think they were the top. And then other streamers have gone down. I think there's a total of 81 Twitch streamers who have been paid more than $1 million by Twitch since August 2019. So never mind, August 2019, yeah, so not just this year, my apologies. So it's over I guess a 2-year period, roughly. But then if you scroll down to the bottom, of the VGC thing, they say that they talked to a cybersecurity expert or whatever, and this dude was like, yo, this is like the largest hack I've ever seen. Yeah, he said, quote, the Twitch hack will, quote, be the biggest leak I have ever seen, end quote. I mean, I really butchered that, but that's what he said.
You got there.
I got there eventually, yeah. So it's huge, man, and it's so much fun. It's like all of Twitch, man.
Yeah, it's the two main key takeaways that have kind of been all over the internet and that are related to games are the unreleased Steam competitor, which bold move from Amazon, especially with how much flack Epic has taken through this entirety, and the creator payout reports, which honestly I just don't see as that big of a deal, especially with a platform where pretty much everyone on that list shows their active sub count when they're on stream, so you can just infer how much money they make.
Yeah, you can, but yeah, based on sub counts and things, you can be like, okay, they're making this much money. Twitch takes this much of a cut. I think it was $2.50, but I could be wrong about that. That was just the last thing I was aware of. And then, they get the rest. And then the money doesn't include YouTube, ads if they put their Twitch streams on YouTube, or merchandise, or Patreons, or whatever,
or sponsorships.
But I kind of exactly, and I like how Jez Corden over at Windows Central summed it up on Twitter. He said in a thread, seriously, not sure why people are so mad about Twitch streamers' payouts. Sports stars get paid far more. If it's so easy to do, why don't you do it? I've made YouTube videos in the past that have gotten 100,000 plus hits and thought, man, there's literally no way I could do this every few days. It's not easy. They get paid because they're entertaining thousands of people, and those people view ads. How is it different from a TV show, a sports event, or whatever? I don't get it, man. Fuck. If your argument is that entertainers get paid too much, well, stop paying them, I guess. Cancel your Netflix subscription, stop going to the movie theater, etc. Why did this become a problem today, huh? And I'm like, I kind of agree with him.
Yeah, well, take in that, The Rock, for example, the highest grossing, male actor who sometimes makes, $100 million in a year. If you take some of these people's view counts, they, eclipse some things that The Rock is in on, a consistent basis, and they get paid, even at the top, 90% less than him.
Yeah, it's like some people are mad they get paid so much, and I'm like, why do you care? These people are just entertaining bitches out there, and people are giving them money. I don't know what you want. It's also, it's like a direct thing. It's not like the company is paying them as such. Twitch takes their cut, but this is based on revenue from people giving them a agreed upon amount of money that they view as, valuable.
Yeah, they subscribe to them.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a big leak though, this whole thing. Yeah, the payouts and then this Amazon competitor thing. I was like, what the fuck? Or this a Steam competitor? I was like, that's not going anywhere, man. Come on.
Yeah, it took them 6 years to figure out how to make a video game. How long is it going to take them to make a Steam competitor?
Yeah, I don't know, man. And by the way, just This is an aside, Jaron. What the fuck's up with the Steam Deck, man? Is that out yet? Is that coming out?
Yeah, there's actually a teardown of it on YouTube that show all its internal components if people want to go check that out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know. I haven't heard about it since it got announced and that 2 weeks afterward, and now no one's been reporting on it since then. So I'm just like, is that still happening soon?
Yeah, I think it's still pretty on track.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so there you go, man. Big Twitch League. If you want to go to VGC and get down in the dirtiness of everything that leaked, go for it. But that's the big news this week. Besides, yeah, the Yakuza directors left, and I guess one thing that you may talk about later in the FAF, but Jared doesn't tell me what's in the FAF, is that the GTA trilogy got announced. Is that there?
No, it's not there. Who cares?
Yeah, so yeah, we mentioned it before, but yeah, the GTA, what is it, San Andreas 3 and Vice City or something?
Yeah.
All of them are getting remastered. They have this remaster collection that finally got announced. And the thing about that is apparently the news came out today that San Andreas, I guess the 360 version or something, is being delisted from the store.
Of course.
So it's like they're literally like, yo, you're not buying these other, this is, and they call it like the definitive trilogy or something. And it's like, yeah, you won't be able to, I think, buy the other ones digitally after this. So
hey, I saw that GTA 5 trailer, like remaster for next gen consoles, and that immediately made me 100% less interested in this so-called remastered trilogy, because I was like, if you can't even make GTA 5 look better, like what the fuck are you gonna do to these games?
That's a valid opinion. I agree with you. And I haven't played, I don't think, I've played some of I think San Andreas.
It's good.
But I never played the other games, and I'm like, I just don't care, because there are so many other games to play, especially ones that I really want to play, that I'm like, and they're not going to be as good as GTA 5 or 4. So I'm like, why bother?
Yeah, I think San Andreas and Vice City are pretty top notch, though. I would say that they're better than a lot of games that have come out over the last probably pretty much since they've come out.
Yeah, but this isn't like a remake, though.
No, it's just like it's like a touch up.
So it's like, who cares?
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Go play it on PC.
Well, let's hop over to the X block. Caleb, hit me with your singing.
That's not really singing, Jaren. That's more of a young, disturbed man making a call. Like a wild animal call. That's what that is. That's not really singing.
That's fair. The first story in the X block, Arcane Lion Studio head leaves role after the successful launch of Deathloop.
See, here's this thing real quick. It's Lyon, and I don't care enough to look it up, but I'm going to ask you, Jaren. Is that Lyon, like France? Like, is that a French studio? Or is that Lion, literally just spelled wrong?
It could be Lyon.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Are they French?
They are, I think. Yeah, I think that's a Paris studio.
I'm going to say Lyon.
It's good enough for me. I'm down with it. We'll call him Lyon. Why not?
It's a better name anyway.
Yeah, the reason we put this in here is because this is something that obviously is kind of interesting when you're buying up these big, huge companies, but then the people who have run them for the entire time decide to leave. It's like, are you going to get the same quality experience? Because we saw this with people equate to Rare, as in Microsoft bought Rare and Rare's quality went down. But it's Rare's quality was kind of on the way down since the N64.
Yeah, agreed. It wasn't. And people who argue about Rare now doesn't make sense because they released their biggest and arguably best game ever in Sea of Thieves. So they're actually it worked out. So it's not even a valid argument at this point. But yeah, this guy has been with the company for 17 years. And after this came out, it's it was announced, I think VGC found it on his LinkedIn. And he said, quote, "I'm very proud of what we accomplished with this amazing team. The successful launch of Deathloop is just another proof that Arcane has a very bright future and a unique place in our industry. I'm leaving the studio in very good hands under leadership of so-and-so, who I'm sure will keep on pushing ambitious and innovative projects. As for my own future, my goal is to keep on helping video game companies and others to make their creative vision become a reality, since that's what I love to do." So he's moving on. I guess he wants to spend more time with his family, is what Pure Xbox was saying, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, so but it's a good question of okay, well, this guy left and he headed the studio for 17 years. So how is Arcane going to be exactly, the same after this moving forward? And why did Microsoft not try to secure that talent?
It seems like I've answered my own question, though, just fully reading through the article, because the guy who was the game director of Deathloop, which people would argue isn't the best game that Arcane's ever made, but critically it's the best game that Arcane's ever made. And if that guy's the game director and now he's in charge of the studio, seems like they're in okay hands.
Yeah, the game director and co-creative director Dinga Bakaba, and then co-creative director Sebastian Mitten, they're staying there. So yeah, they've got some talent left. I guess it's not really super detrimental to the studio It is interesting, though, that this guy left, right before. And this game's not on Xbox yet. It's still on PlayStation.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't equate this to what happened to Rockstar, where, like, the Housers departed, because they're the guys who, like, wrote the games.
Yeah. the series of RPGs known for their beloved stories and characters. Yeah, the writers left. And you're like, okay, well, what does that mean?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say the same thing here. Like, this is definitely someone who's been instrumental in, like, building Arcane to what it is now. But it seems like he's just, like, ready to move on to other things.
Personal thing. So I guess, yeah, good for him. Wishing him the best. And I'm sure Arcane will be fine. But it is an interesting piece of Xbox news here in a week that is a sure drought. And Jared and I were talking about it before the podcast. If you're wondering what the news is this week, really, the news is Far Cry 6 is out. Or Far Cry 6 is out. That's the news. And then everything else is like, what else is left?
Yeah, and this next story is very much that. So strange Microsoft Store activity could suggest new backwards compatible OG Xbox games are on the horizon.
Breaking.
They've already got all the good ones, right? Like, are we even missing anything that we need?
Well, I'll get into it. They talk about it here. So, yeah, Xbox era's Nick Baker, this is from True Achievements, suggested earlier in the year that a new batch of games would be coming at some point in 2021. Earlier this week, he added an update saying that some new backwards compatible titles might be coming in November. Looking back through our store data, we saw 7 OG Xbox games added to the new Microsoft Store from the old Xbox 360 store in September, all with the strange November 30th release date. These titles include one of the best received original Xbox launch titles, Dead or Alive 3, which would tie in nicely with Xbox 20th anniversary celebrations if it does get added to the program. And the others listed, Jaren, were Dead or Alive Ultimate, Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers, Gladius, Gung Valkyrie, Advent Rising.
Oh, and the big one.
And the big one, Jaren, Chicken Little.
Dude, Chicken Little. That's the game. That's the game everyone's been waiting for. You know, they got like a whole merch line lined up that's going to come out with Chicken Little. When the Xbox fridge comes out, you're going to be able to grab like a sticker that you could stick on the side of your Xbox fridge that says Chicken Little.
So you were asking, Jaren, haven't all the big games been added, in the backwards compatibility program? The answer is no, because Chicken Little's not on there.
The answer is emphatically yes. Yes, they were.
And then True Achievements concludes their article down here. It says, now, as Baker points out, this could simply be Microsoft testing something out, so nobody should be jumping to any conclusions. Parentheses, we all know how badly you want to play Chicken Little, but the licensing agreement surely expired for that 1 year ago, in parentheses. But someone at Microsoft is definitely pushing some buttons on the store's back end and moving games around. And they remind you that, Xbox backwards compatibility program back in June 2019 was ended indefinitely so that the Xbox team could work on making sure Xbox One games would be compatible with the Series X and S. Presumably that work is either over or almost over completely, and now we're waiting to see, if more games will get added to the backwards compatibility program. A lot of these older titles, though, Jaren, like Chicken Little, critically acclaimed Chicken Little, are licensed titles. So a lot of them can't even be added back anyway, or they have to renew certain licensing things with different companies, and that's what that team is for. But yeah, it's like there's some stuff on the back end happening, but it's not a confirmation that anything is imminent.
There you go. Now you got all your Chicken Little news.
Jaren, are you gonna play Chicken Little when it comes to backwards compatibility?
If Chicken Little comes to backwards compatibility, I'll make sure that I put it 10 times into the spin if it's in Game Pass.
I was going to say, if they put it in Game Pass, man, we might spin it. We might have to Chicken Little it up.
I'm going to 10 times it if it's in Game Pass in the spin. There's going to be a 10 in 300 chance of getting Chicken Little.
Chicken Little ran so the Avengers could fly. That's all I'm going to say.
The next story, Xbox Alpha update lets you track how much time you spent on your favorite game from the guide.
Jaren, why don't you tell people about this?
I labeled this in the doc as the "You Need Some Sun" feature.
It really does. I was going to say, when I'm playing Halo the Master Chief Collection, I can see that I spent, 30 days in that game.
Yeah, I like that when you hit the guide button and it pops up. I want to see the implementation of this. Is it just going to shame you?
I don't know, man. I haven't seen it, and I don't know if this part's still in testing. But yeah, this was part of the, new update coming for Xbox and all that. And they're like, yeah, dude, instead of as you used to have to go to the game, page and look in the stats, and then maybe you could see some sort of timer, counter of what's going on there. It's like, nah, man. And this one, it's just you go to the guide tab and it shows you how much time you've been playing a game to really shame your ass into getting off the console.
Yeah, I like how this doesn't even work in half the games. Half the games don't tell you how long you've played them anymore. Every game that used to launch used to have stats and how long you've played it, how many kills in this mode and all these kind of things. And all that stuff's kind of just gone away. and now they're bringing it back just for time, though?
Yeah, it was really implemented really well, and then, some games started just straight up not tracking your time. And then some games will not count the time, I think, when you're either paused or at the main menu of a game, and then you just go do something else. Whereas some games will count, will count that time, that when you're in the main menu or if you're paused or whatever. So it's really inconsistent, and you kind of just got to discern for yourself about how much time. If it looks wrong, you're like, that can't be right. Then okay, maybe this game counts when I'm just on the main menu of the game, and I left that one day to go do something for 6 hours and came back.
Yeah, my Yakuza time's 50 something hours, but I left it paused for 11, so it's closer to 40 something.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. Those stats are super interesting for people like me, people into stats and tracking and stuff. How long did I play this game? A lot of people don't give a fuck, but for some of us, it's actually super interesting to know. And some people are super persnickety about their timers, to where they'll quit out the game to make sure that a game doesn't track their timer. And they're because they want to see exactly how long it took them to complete something.
Yeah, now you're gonna have a kid sitting there playing Warzone, and his mom's gonna walk into his room and be like, "How long you been playing Warzone?" And he's gonna be like, only the last hour after I finished my homework. And she's gonna be like, "Hit your damn guide button, Billy, and show me the time."
I've read GameSpot, Billy. I know you could check the guides tab, but you go over to your game activity tab and it'll tell you how much time you've been playing, Billy. Why does it say every 87 days, Billy? Are you that much of a nerd? Go get a job, Billy. And that'll be it.
The Xbox Game Pass titles for console, PC, and cloud for the month of October have been dated. These ones will have already come out by the time you hear this. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator joins the service on the 7th, ahead of the Possession to Cavalry, which comes, and Visage also comes on October 7th. They will be followed by Back 4 Blood and Destiny 2 Beyond Light on October 12th, Ring of Pain and the Rift Breaker on October 14th, and The Good Life on October 15th. And the games that will be leaving Xbox Game Pass on October 15th, Goner 2, Heave Ho, Katana Zero, Scourgebringer, Tales of Vesperia HD, and The Swords of Ditto. So really the only game here that is the huge deal is Back 4 Blood on the 12th.
Yeah, it seems that way, man. They've been pushing that in their marketing ever since E3, with their whole, 6 months, 6 games coming to Game Pass, big games lineup, and this October's month, dude, Back 4 Blood is the one.
I've heard that the story mode has had some fans divided on if it's a good story or if it's not, but it's a Left 4 Dead style zombie game, so how good was the story going to be anyway?
Yeah, exactly. And Jaren and I are interested in playing that game, but we're going to wait a few months for all the bugs and things to get patched out and for us to play other games. And then it should still be in Game Pass for at least 6 months, right?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, so, if you want to, beta test this game for me, hop into Game Pass at launch and figure out what the bugs are so that I can get the better experience later, please.
So far, to my knowledge, no game that has launched in Game Pass has left Game Pass so far.
Okay, you mean launch in Game Pass. I was going to say, because one game that I didn't play in time that was in Game Pass that left, and you felt that, sudden just drop in your heart, was The Messenger. They put The Messenger in Game Pass, and then I checked back for it to download it one time, and it was gone. And I was like, no, I have to give the studio money.
Yeah, but these big partnerships, MLB hasn't left, Outriders hasn't left, that Dark Alliance game hasn't left, so who knows how fast Back 4 Blood will even leave.
Isn't it crazy that Outriders hadn't left before we finished it?
Yeah.
It just feels like it should have left by now.
It feels like it definitely 100% should have left.
It's still there, though, and they haven't had any announcements about it leaving.
Yeah, I guess we'll move on to the next one then, Caleb. The last story in the X Block. Microsoft is bringing back Kinect for Sky TV.
What?
Sky Glass will be a new range of televisions that have Sky TV streaming built in, as well as 21 other entertainment apps at launch. However, The Verge reports that Sky is also planning to release a separate camera attachment called the Sky Glass Camera, which is being developed by Microsoft and appears to use Kinect technology.
Yeah, and this all comes from Jaren's reading from VGC, by the way. But it's what is this Sky Glass shit, Jaren? What is this?
The camera will let other Sky Glass owners watch TV together, using their cameras to see each other's faces, similar to Snap feature Xbox One originally launched with. Users will also be able to pause rewind streams as part of a group, as if they were in the same room sharing a TV remote.
Yeah, so they want people to be able to watch TV together on Zoom calls. And it can sync your TV with other households, and it has, the integrated video and chat functions. And then they also mention down here later in the article from BGC, Skyglass will also include a range of games that support the camera, including a Paw Patrol game and Fruit Ninja. The games appear to play exactly like Kinect games did, with the camera tracking the player's movements. So, Jaren, how does this make you feel? This Kinect returning, and what is Kinect for those little boys out there who didn't have one?
Kinect was a camera that shipped originally with the Xbox One, which almost torpedoed the entire Microsoft brand because they needed to have a higher price because they included the Kinect.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like it came from like the Wii, right? Like the Wii came out and everybody was like, we got to get on that shit. And so Xbox started like they released Kinect, and PlayStation did PlayStation. What is it? What was the PlayStation one?
PlayStation Now? Or no, PlayStation Move. Sorry,
PlayStation Move. There you go. And then that shit fucking bombed, and everyone hated it.
Yeah, pretty much. The one thing I will say about this, Caleb, is with Skyglass including a range of games that support the camera, including Paw Patrol and Fruit Ninja, like you said, is this the onset of these kind of games being included in the Game Pass subscriptions that are sold on modern TVs that will be coming out in the future? Will there be a lot of these Kinect focused games that you can attach to like your TV cameras and then play them with your friends, like Just Dance and all these kind of things that will be included in like a Game Pass subscription that's just for the TV?
It's possible. A Game Pass subscription just for TV, that would be, they really would be expanding at that point, right? Because then they'd have one for mobile, for for mobile, for PC, for a console, and then for TVs. It'd be getting a little complicated at that point, especially with the drops every month of like what's leaving and what's coming.
Yeah, I guess you only got to keep track of what you have though, right?
Yeah, it's just for us. I mean, but yeah, that's a good point. They could do something like that. For these though, like it's so specific. Like you can only play these games with their movement camera functions with Skyglass, right? Isn't that the intimation here and inclination here?
It is, but I mean, if Microsoft made the tech, this could just be the first implementation of the tech. Like LG could come out with their own camera, Samsung could come out with their own camera, Sony could come out with their own camera, and these could all be like included with Xbox.
Do you think Kinect was too early and people now are okay with their TVs spying on them with a camera at all times, pointing a camera at them?
Well, people's laptops spy on them at all times.
Yeah, but TVs are different. Like, even though they're not that different, the general consumer public categorizes them in their minds as different.
I guess that's fair. I feel like people get over it considering their phones are always spying on them.
I would be interested to see these games come back just because they're interesting. But just kind of to talk about the Kinect, because, you know, who really cares about this shit, Jaren? You and I, you know, fans of the Kinect. Can I say that? Not really the Kinect as such, but like what it allowed you to do from a general quality of life Xbox gamer standpoint.
Caleb and I are fans of microphones.
There you go. Not the Kinect. We just want a microphone.
Put in the Xbox, yeah.
We loved, and if you still have your Kinect hooked up to your Xbox One and you're playing this on some speakers right now, I just loved going Xbox off. Yes. You know, just like that, Jaren. Just like that man's Xbox just shut off right in front of him on his Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a Kinect on, or like Xbox on, and then boop, 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 you know, you walk in. Or like Xbox, go to Netflix. Xbox, go to achievements. Xbox, and you didn't have to, like, if your controller was off because you were doing something, you could totally navigate the menus with a microphone. And it's like, isn't that necessary? It's like, well, why don't you just turn on your controller and just do it? And I'm like, well, I could, but I could also just walk into my room and tell my Xbox to go on as I'm sitting down and not have to like go up and press the button or like hold my controller down, right? It was just such a quality of life improvement.
Wait, Caleb, you're saying that the thing that came out even before like Google Home and Amazon Alexa was like ahead of its time?
A bit, yeah. I just don't care about my house that much. And I would just want the gaming functionality of it. But yeah, those things that people like about their houses and being able to do. That shit was, yeah, and Microsoft is always ahead of their time. You know, they came out with tablets like 10 years before tablets came out.
It's wild. There's like each part of different tech companies have come out with something like way early, and then later it has come out. And essentially the rule of thumb is that everybody except Apple comes out with things early, and then Apple gets them later.
That's exactly what happens with them. But yeah, this the microphone technology for the Kinect, that's the thing I would love. And they didn't really mention that here, did they, Jaren? Because it's like a TV thing. So it's more about the camera. So I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care about this personally as a gamer. I mean, I don't really know who is this for at this point. Like 10 small children in the UK. Like, does this have a place? Like Sky TV. I'm like, what the fuck is Sky TV? That's as fake as your goddamn Monopoly money over there with fucking pounds and euros and shit. Well, maybe not euros anymore, but I'm like, nah, that's some fake shit. What the hell is a Sky TV?
The last thing I'm going to say about this is it seems like a great idea that if there was maybe something that happened in the next couple years that caused us all to go inside for a while and then have to watch TV with your friends instead of just having them over to your house, if that happened, then I feel like this would be great. But, it feels a little late in that sense.
Whereas Microsoft was early, you guys are late coming back. And yeah, dude. And last thing I'll say about this is it seems like for anything like this to even kind of gain some ground, you need some big TV manufacturers to get on board, like LG, Samsung, Sony, even, which is ironic.
If Samsung doesn't do it, it's irrelevant.
Exactly. So yeah, if that doesn't happen, it's like, okay, cool. Sky TV has this one feature for 4 people.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's cool. Dude, Connect is back. If you live in the UK, man, and you want to connect again, go play Paw Patrol with your Sky TV.
If you want to jerk off while someone at your internet provider watches you, get Sky TV.
I mean, I'm going to the store right now, Jay.
Next up, the X Factor discussion. Now, Caleb, is this the pending downfall of Ubisoft?
And what is the question, man? I know that's the question, but hit me up with all the context quick, and the viewers.
Here it comes, listeners. Are you guys ready? Ghost Recon Frontline, a free-to-play battle royale announced by Ubisoft. That was their big Tom Clancy-related news that they hyped up, and then everyone went, the fuck? No one wants hyperspace, let alone another, or hyperscape, let alone another free-to-play battle royale from you guys. You guys got 3 now, and you're announcing another one, and then there's supposed to be another Heartland Ghost Recon 1 coming out, but now it's also been confirmed that Far Cry 7 could be more online oriented, like the Assassin's Creed game that they announced that's going to be online oriented as well.
Yeah, and I think Axios rather reported on that the new that the next Far Cry could be more online approach with a multiplayer setting in a Far Cry universe thing. Yeah, Ubisoft, Jared and I have talked about this in the months leading up to this discussion. There's been a shift in ideologies and how companies are operating in the video game space between the big publishers. Activision clearly was making initiatives for remakes and being a better, friendlier company, Activision Blizzard. And then, they decided to take all their talent, remove them from making remakes like Spyro or Crash Bandicoot or Crash Team Racing and Tony Hawk and all that. And they put them all on Call of Duty. And then California sued them for being diddlers.
Yeah, they diddled them first before they put them on Call of Duty.
Yeah, there you go. So that's Activision, and they are now definitively the worst company in video games, taking that title from EA. And so EA now, as a publisher, is a better company. And what they've done is actually focus less on live service games after failures like Anthem. And there was another game that didn't do well for them, maybe Mass Effect Andromeda and another thing. And now they're focusing more on single-player experiences and less microtransaction-y loot box bullshit with, the Dead Space remake and stuff like that.
Yep.
But there was some news that, the FIFA Ultimate Team isn't changing anytime soon because, even if gambling laws change, they'd lose too much money. So, FIFA and Madden and all that stuff, that's staying the same. But Jared and I at least me, I don't care as much. You can stick that in the sports franchises, that's fine. Just don't fuck with normal games. Not casual sports games. Get the fuck out of here. That's fine.
Like Star Wars.
Exactly. There you go. So that's cool with EA. They're on the up and up, surpassing Activision. Jared. Then you have Ubisoft. And Ubisoft has traditionally, over there by Yves Guillemot, been the company by the gamers, for the gamers. They make games for gamers. Some of their games are a bit trite with their models of just kind of the checklist Ubisoft games. Mm-hmm. But those dudes are out there making fucking shit, man. They're making games out there in this bitch. And what happened was, Ubisoft got some diddling allegations. And so they got some diddlers in their studios, and we don't like diddlers, and diddlers are not good. And so Ubisoft kind of a little less public image, not great, right? Then what happened is over the past year or two, I guess these are happening at the same time, Ubisoft's model and philosophy as a company shifted, whereas they kind of promised a couple years ago that they were going to focus more heavily on their single player experiences. Within the last year and a half to year, I can't remember, it came out where they're actually, never mind. And you're like, what? They're like, yeah, we're going to focus on expanding our live service titles and free-to-play offerings and that shit. And you're like, oh, so you just want to profit off of microtransactions in the free-to-play space where other people are succeeding because you're trite and stupid.
But who's succeeding? That's more by thing is EA had to transition out of it because it didn't work. Unless you make games for a mass, normal basic bitch audience like Call of Duty or Madden and FIFA, this doesn't work. It's been proven not to work.
Well, it's probably going to work with Halo. But they're gonna have some. I guess they're gonna have some microtransactions.
I guess
stuff in there.
that's different though, because that's a multiplayer shooter. Like that's what it's based around. Like pretty much every game that has come out and tried to be Destiny has not been like nothing has come out and eclipsed Destiny. Like usually if a trend is gonna work, you get something like a shooter comes out, then another shooter comes out and blows up even more. Then Call of Duty comes out and you're like, oh my God, shooters are the biggest thing ever. Destiny happened. Everybody went, wow, that was really successful. And then nobody passed it. And we got a bunch of Battle Royale games. But somehow everybody is like, yo, what if we try to do the same thing as everyone else is doing and it's somehow going to work? Yet nobody's eclipsed Fortnite yet. Nobody's eclipsed Destiny. So what are you guys going for?
Legends was somehow a really big hit. That was a big one for EA, I guess. And no one knows how or why that happened. But what the main kind of thing here is this game had been in development for like 3 years. And so they've just been and that's the problem with going with trends in the industry is like who is this game for, man? Ghost Recon Frontline, it's like a battle royale game. There are some changes where like there's no circle that's shrinking and there's no, I don't know if there's team wipes or whatever, but it has a few different things and it's about collecting intel and extracting. They're kind of merging battle royale or what I think IGN said is like the Hunt Showdown with the Dark Zone and the Division. And it's like, okay, so they're releasing and it's with the Tom Clancy IP or which they just don't seem to give a fuck about, you know, with like X-Defiant and all this like free-to-play mobile shit and like all this nonsense. It's like Ubisoft has gone from the guys who just make games to like the free-to-play multiplayer basic bitch like company. I don't know, like with Assassin's Creed turning into Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is going to be like an ever-expanding service like title, to now rumors of Far Cry 7 being online oriented or like multiplayer focused. So yeah, with X-Defiant and Ghost Recon Frontline and what is it, The Division Heartlands and some of their mobile titles, you're like, what are you guys doing with like all these beloved IP and franchises? Like, what are you doing with Tom Clancy stuff as well? Like, why are you becoming ass? Whereas like EA's on the rise, which no one would have ever seen. It's like, why does Ubisoft fucking suck now?
You also can't, like, you just fundamentally can't drop 4 online-focused games with ever-expanding communities at once, which it seems like what they're trying to do. They're trying to have, like, 6 Battle Royales and, like, 5 online-focused games, and it's like, no one's gonna play all of these.
Yeah, and how much of them run on the same, I don't know, but how much of them run on the same engine?
Like, why do I want to play Ghost Recon Frontline if Division's Heartland is it's the same, they're the same game.
And X-Defiant is its own kind of shooter game with the same Ubisoft shooter, because every publisher with their different, engines and things, they feel like shooters feel different. Like Halo feels different to Doom, that feels different to Call of Duty, that feels different to Far Cry. But when you're Ubisoft and you start making 5 shooters in the same year, you're like, these all feel pretty close, you know?
These are the same games. You're making the same game over and over and over again, but you're making them with like 15 seasons of content. Like you expect people to play them all forever. Like, are you only going to be able to play Ubisoft games? Like, if you're a Ubisoft fan, like, I guess that's what they're going for. Maybe you only play Ubisoft games for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I don't know. And who does that in like that gaming space? Because it's between like the real basic casuals who buy Madden and Call of Duty every year, but not up to like the gamer person who plays, at least 10 games a year of different types.
Yeah, like who is playing Fortnite that is going to look at Ghost Recon Frontline and be like, yo, this is the one that's going to bring me over. Like, this is the one that Twitch is really going to hit in on, and we're going to play all of it. Let's take one of the worst video games ever made, and let's turn it into a Battle Royale game.
Yeah, and it has a possibility, like, since we can't see the future, maybe this shit blows up for no reason for a bit, but I think it's more likely than not where you're like, okay, who is this for? Because I don't know what Ubisoft fans want this more than they want just like another, like a well-made, time-taken, sweat-driven, just a new Ghost Recon Wildlands game, or Ghost Recon
a Splinter
game.
Cell?
Yeah, or a Splinter Cell that they will not do anything with. It's like, maybe it blows up and maybe it's popular for like a day or a week that it comes out and they get sponsorships with streamers and things to play or ads to play the game. And maybe it gets a little bit there, but I'm like, I don't think it's going to be popular. I think I can see that from a mile away. Hopefully I'm not wrong just based on my ability to predict things. But it's like, who is this for? And why are you becoming a company? You excelled in not being this type of company. And then your decision, and you said that for years, and then your decision suddenly is to become that company for presumably what? Like easy money? Like, do you think you're going to make a ton of money on this rather than selling, I don't know, 8 million, some type of Tom Clancy game? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. All I'm going to say, the last thing I'm going to say on it is, even if this has some of the most inventive features ever, Fortnite's going to steal them in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, as Fortnite does with launch pads from Apex and everything else, you know? It's going to happen. One more thing to say, Jaren. So with like EA games, you know, multiplayer and online stuff, their UI, it just, you know, it sucks. Everyone knows that. With Ubisoft, they can't even make a co-op game work. Like, their thing is, like, when you have a co-op game, like, even with Far Cry 6, which Far Cry 5's co-op was just, like, drop in and out and, like, eat shit. Far Cry 6's is, like, yeah, so your upgrades and, like, all your weapons that you pick up and, like, things with your character, those stay. But, like, you can't just go back to your own story and, like, be where you are, from what I'm aware of, what I read in that game. You can't just, like, load into your own game and be where you were, like, story and quest-wise. Even if you started with your, like, friend in their game from the beginning. And, like, even with basic shit, like when we were in Far Cry 5, achievements, like story-related achievements or whatever, quests that you would get in your friend's game that was hosting, the achievement wouldn't unlock for you, even though you were in their game. So you can't, like, if people who get achievements, it's like, well, why would I play co-op with my friend? We would have to play the game twice. And you're like, you guys already suck in various instances of co-op and multiplayer. Like, can you just, like, make a good co-op game that works first before, you know, really dive into this multiplayer shit? And I guess The Division works pretty well, so I can't shit on them there too much. But it's like, I don't know, man. I don't see them as the people who should be doing this, and it's pretty dumb. But that's all I have to say.
All right, and now we're going to move on to the last segment of the show, the FAF, where you get all the news that you don't need to know, but you see scrolling by on your Twitter feed, and you're like, hey, should I click on that? Well, we're here to tell you absolutely not. Come to us and let us tell it to you in a fun way.
We're gonna give you all the faff that you don't need to know about right here.
All right, Caleb, hit me with the first one.
Microfaff.
This is for everybody who loves physical media and owning their games. The disc actually includes the Xbox One version of Far Cry 6. So if you're playing on the next gen console, you'll find that the game only installs 700 megabytes from the disc, leaving the rest of the 68 gigabytes to be downloaded from the web.
So why would you buy physical games at this point, Jaren? Why? Just for a collection? I guess, you know, if you want that, that's cool.
You could just print them, though. They just print off the covers and put them on your shelf. It's the same.
Well, I guess, is it still the argument, Jaren, that you can go sell the games back to GameStop or whatever?
Yeah, but you could also just wait until they're on sale and buy them for less than that difference of money you would make.
I guess so, man. Like, you and I just wait for sales. If you're the kind of guy who wants to talk so bad with your fucking friends about Far Cry 6 when the day it comes out, because it's that big of a deal to you, I guess maybe, you know, and you want to save some money, I guess buy it physically. But otherwise, why bother?
And the next one, Xbox 20th Anniversary See-Through Special Edition controller is announced. They also announced a headset, and they showed off Adidas sneakers, which are actually kind of cool. I kind of want the controller and the sneakers.
This is in the FAF, but this is actually a secret, you know, Trojan horse biggest Xbox news of the week.
Yeah, we turned the Kinect into actually something to talk about, but this was definitely bigger news than the Kinect.
Yeah, it is, dude. I mean, if you guys want to go look at the Adidas shoes, they do look hot. They're not for me. They're not my color palette, and I'm a basic bitch, dude. I just wear, like, slip-on fucking Sperry's, you know? That's what I wear, like an asshole. I've been wearing for, like, 10 years. But for people who are cooler than me and have friends and things like that I've heard about, these sneakers may be for you.
Caleb dresses like your dad who doesn't sleep with your mom anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I could argue you, but no, that's, yeah.
All right, hit me with the next one, Caleb.
Questionable decisions, like my shoes.
EA says it could cut ties with FIFA and rename its football series.
To what?
I don't know how that works with naming rights, because FIFA owns the players' naming rights.
I was gonna say.
Do you just, like, call, like, Jeff on the back of the jersey now?
What is that? Why would they... That seems like a lucrative partnership. Am I wrong?
Their most profitable partnership?
Why would you fuck with that?
I don't know, Caleb. Yeah, why would you go and remove the possibility of maybe not having names, which is the only thing people care about in sports games?
I'm going to be honest with you, Jaren. Yeah, that's the problem with the NCAA games. But yeah, I'm going to say, Jaren, I don't give a fuck about FIFA or soccer games or basically any sports game. that's not NHL, because I know you somewhat like those games. They can go fuck up FIFA and the FIFA franchise, gaming franchise, all they want, and I'll just kind of watch, kind of like watching a fire burn. You're just like staring at it.
Yep.
You know, they can do that. So I'm actually for it. You guys should do it.
DICE says Battlefield's 2042's beta is a few months old and has actually progressed a lot since they made it.
Why couldn't they just make the more current build the beta?
Yeah, you know what you should do, Caleb? When you've already progressed past something, you should send that out to customers so they can give you feedback on something that you've already moved past.
Yeah, Halo did that with a trailer, you know, for that they had to get together as a vertical slice for their presentation at E3 a couple years ago. But why is the beta build like so old?
Questionable decisions, both made by EA after we gave them some nice praise.
Yeah, that's true, Jaren.
All right, Caleb, hit me with the next one.
A last desperate grab at profitability.
Paid XP boosts have been added to Avengers, despite promises it would never happen.
These guys are such shit. Is this a publisher decision, Jaren, you assume?
It has to be, right?
I was going to say, because like Crystal Dynamics is the developer on this game, and like now they're partnered with the people working on Perfect Dark over at the Initiative for Xbox, and I'm like, how is this game so ass? Is it because they had to push it out so quickly? Is it because they're not made to make this game, which I think is the main reason? Who made the decision to add that after they said not to, that they weren't? And what kind of multiplayer live service game lives vibrantly off of like, yo, bud, just buy XP?
Yeah, dude, it's a terrible decision. All I'm going to say about it is Avengers is exactly like a turd. If you have to push it out, it gets really messy.
I was going to say it smells.
All right, Caleb, now we're on to quick quips. Gearbox's Randy Pitchford steps down as Gearbox software president, remains as Gearbox Entertainment CEO.
What's the difference?
Dude, Dirty Randy, he's giving up some power.
I heard that I heard he stepped down as president. Like, I just heard that just now, and I'd never heard that before. I was like, yo, that's crazy. And then you were like, and he's still the CEO. I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Sony introduces Perfect for PS5 TVs a year after introducing Ready for PS5 ones.
Which one? So they have Ready and they have Perfect?
Then last year they released a model of TVs that said it was ready for PS5. This year they've introduced new TVs that they say are perfect for PS5.
So what about the people who bought the Ready?
They were just ready. They weren't perfect.
You know, that's such ass. That's brilliant marketing, dude. Yeah, you're ready for PS5, but if you're gonna be perfect for PS5, you're gonna have to get another fucking TV, bro.
And this one, last one, has nothing to do with video games. It just made me laugh. AMC CEO to theater doubters after 007 and Venom do big numbers. Choke on that, is what he said.
And that is the fact, Sharon. That's the one to end on.
Thank you for listening to the X Block podcast.
Wait, shut up,
30.
Shut up. No, shut up. Are you watching Dune? You watching that?
I don't know.
You don't have HBO, do you? You don't in Canada?
No, we don't.
You know they're bringing it to Europe. Did you hear about that?
HBO Max?
Yeah, HBO Max. They're bringing that to Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, they really fucking hate you guys.
This isn't staying in the podcast. This is pointless.
No, this is staying in the podcast. Jaren, everyone loves this. This is the great stuff. Jaren, did you see the Game of Thrones trailer?
No.
See that? Then you didn't see the new teaser? Yeah, okay. Well, that's fucking awesome. And then that's when they announced the Europe thing.
Okay.
All right, keep this in the podcast, but go ahead.
And that is the end of the Xbox
podcast.
No,
don't cut it out. No, I'm gonna keep it. No, keep all that in.
Oh, I still have to say the end. What do you want from me?
It seemed like you were trying to cut me out there. It seemed like you were trying to like say and that is, and then cut everything before that. See what I'm saying?
Oh, I still have to say it.
All right, well, you can cut this part out. Say it again.
And that is the end of the X Block podcast, episode 30. If you would like to listen to us somewhere else than you're listening to us right now, you can head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Google Podcasts, and pretty much anything that Anchor supports. If you'd like to listen to it on YouTube, because you're one of those people, feel free to go check us out, the X Block Podcast. If you want to follow us outside of just listening to us, you can head over to Twitter at X Block Podcast. You can head over to Instagram at X Block Podcast. And you can head over to Twitch and Patreon, which Caleb will now tell you about.
Our Twitch is _XBlock, and while you're over there changing your fucking password because all the data got leaked, go ahead and go over to _XBlock and give us a follow for when we go live. I'll probably be streaming Halo Infinite quite a bit, maybe when that comes out. So yeah, follow us, and then notifications will pop up whenever we're live, and you can see some of your favorite little boys be bad at games. It'll be awesome. And then if you want to go over to Patreon, patreon.com/xblockpodcast, we have, no patrons at the moment, but if you throw us $100,000, then we won't need anybody else. So if you want to throw us $100,000, let me buy a new microphone, new PC coming at you soon, then you can throw us some monies over there and help us out. You know, we would appreciate it, and we'd appreciate the support because it helps us do the show long term. So there you go, Jaron. Patreon.com/xblockpodcast.
We would love to get to the point where in 5 years, Twitch leaks all of the money and we're right at the top and we have to have people be mad at us.
Yeah, dude. It's a hard life, but, you know, we think we can handle it, whereas others can't.
Yeah, we're prepared.
Yeah.
And basically that's it. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your girlfriend, tell them all to listen to the X Block podcast.
Ooh, Jaron, one more thing. Next week, Jaron, after this episode, next week is an X Block podcast special, right?
That's true. And we will be talking about our top 5 games of all time with a special guest.
Okay, yeah, so stay tuned for that shit, man. If you're hyped for top 5 games of all time, dude, X Block special coming at you next week.
X Block out.
Thanks for listening to the X Block. New episodes every Monday at 5 a.m.